Renowned remote viewer, investigator, and author Margie K presents Unexplained Phenomena, Hauntings, Cryptids, Portals, Alien and Interdimensional Contact, Shifts in Consciousness, and all things unexplained. And now, here is your host, Margie K.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. I am having a few little allergy problems this evening, so if I cut out, you'll know why, and I will be back. Just want to run over a conference that's coming up here. It's called the Enchanted May Awakening Fair, May 30th to 31st in Gravois Mills, Missouri. That's right near Lake of the Ozarks. It's on the lake, actually. And it's being held at dragonflyhall.com. So for more information, go to dragonflyhall.com. And they're also having a pre-event, a dinner on the 29th that you can register for as well. I will be speaking at this event. I'm teaching a dowsing workshop. And NX Network is hosting it as well as a sponsor. And then I want to mention our new Woo channel. Tonight's show is going to be the first official show that will be airing on the Woo channel as well as the Unexplained Network channel. So anything that's of a spiritual nature, metaphysical nature, that consciousness, that's going to be there too. And we've got some more good stuff coming with that. My guest this evening is Galactic Grandmother April. With Native American Indian heritage, a psychic grandmother and mother, excuse me, and her galactic lineage, April's psychic experiences began in childhood. Her spiritual quest has been lifelong, exploring many kinds of spirituality and becoming a Reiki master and quantum energy healer. However, when she was contacted directly by her main spirit guide in 2014, her real awakening and education began. She received initiations that developed her abilities to work in the quantum field, understand our multidimensional nature, and assist others along their path. In 2017, 2 months after the profound metaphysical experience of having the Great Cosmic Mother download her codes into April's heart center, she awoke one morning being told that she is a galactic grandmother. Welcome to the program, April.
Oh, thank you, Margie, for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you could join me. I knew when I spoke to you that you were a very special lady, and you have a lot to share with everyone. And I think people are going through a lot of changes right now. Are you seeing that in your practice?
Definitely. And that's why I've been getting the message for some time that it's so important for all of us that identify as light workers or starseeds to really hone our own abilities so that we can be of service, because there's, like your program is called The Great Reveal tonight, there's some big changes that are going to shake up humanity on the horizon. And I think the majority of humanity is not going to be ready. And those of us that have opened our mind to life beyond the 3D, we're going to be needed to help people. And that's what I see in my practice. People really feeling like there's something out there, but they don't know what it is. And I keep directing them to within themselves. Wouldn't you agree in your practice?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I'm seeing the same sort of thing. People know something's coming. They might not be too sure what it is, and they feel like they're being prepared and that they need to help others. And so same sort of messaging is coming through. I would like to go back to your experience in 2014 If you could go into a little more detail on that, and then your 2017 experience as well.
Oh, well, after a lifetime of exploring why I've been having prophetic dreams, hearing the voice of my teacher and so forth since I was a child, um, I thought I had it all figured out by the time I was about 63 or 4. And I went I was just sitting down to start a little meditation, and my main spirit guide, who had never contacted me directly before, uh, suddenly popped my consciousness out of my body, and I was in outer space looking at the earth. And he started
Oh.
talking to me about what I was seeing. I saw a kind of a gray, silvery, thick blanket around the earth. And he was talking about that's part of the fourth dimension where all of the humanity's ideas about the afterlife and religion and lots of things like this was held. And it was such a magical experience to be in space looking at the earth. It was the first of many, many metaphysical experiences where he's taken me, my consciousness, as you, a remote viewer, would identify with, going in consciousness to different places to see things and to feel things and experience things. And after that first experience, the education just went on from there. The first thing was the big awakening to the programming of the false reality here in 3D. Some people call it the matrix. And that was quite disturbing for me, because I won't go into the bad details, but I had no idea about some of the bad stuff that goes on here. And then it went into one of my favorite topics is multidimensionality. I learned about multidimensionality and how we, especially, again, the starseeds, the light workers, we are our future selves that have volunteered to come back into this time to anchor in the higher frequency energies into the crystalline grid of Mother Earth. We're here healing ancestral DNA. We're here to raise frequency of humanity and help assist with this jump in evolution that we're going through, so-called the ascension. And I've just loved, it's so fascinating, everything I've learned about how we have higher aspects of ourself. Our oversoul has different frequencies of energy, and on those different frequencies, sometimes referred to as dimensions, we have parallel lives. And some of our higher aspects of ourselves, well, I have a woman that lives on Venus. She's a Venetian. And I have another one that lives on board a Palladian mothership. She lives and works there. I have another one in the interdimensional city of Telos. And so it was fun. And I got to meet them too and interact with them. And this is nothing that everyone can do it. It's just a matter of tuning in your frequency, just like a radio a frequency, tuning a radio to a radio station. In this case, I was lucky enough to have my guide do this for me and show me the way. And what else? One of the other fun things I learned was about past lives. A lot of past lives were revealed to me. And the first past life. Now, talk about woo woo. This is a good initiation to your channel, Margie.
All right. Love it.
Because I always think about outer space, and in my mind's eye, I would see this opening to our universe. And I found out it's because I came into this universe originally, into this galaxy, as for a peace mediation. I landed on Sirius B, and it was a covert operation to try and for peace talks, and it didn't work. There were two factions. One wanted peace, and one did not want peace, and that's started my incarnations in this galaxy. And like so many star seeds, we have star families on lots of different planets, Palladian, Orion, you name it. The last extraterrestrial life I had before coming to planet Earth was on Maldak. I escaped Maldak before it exploded, and then I came in as a refugee from Maldak to a Venetian colony on Lemuria.
Okay. Now, as you know, this is a lot for people to absorb, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, I have a connection with Venus. And so would you explain the Lemurian colony, and then why did the Venusians go there, first of all, and then why did they go to Telos?
Well, when I reviewed this life, I was on Maldak. I was a general, and we were losing a war there. And we knew that we had to escape the planet. So myself and my men, we were able to evacuate our families and appeal to a galactic council to become refugees on Earth. And they picked the colony. And apparently there's a woman who is from Venus, and she's even said, after I learned my history, she confirmed that there were Venetian colonies on Lemuria. And apparently the Galactic Council thought that we from Maldak would fit in with the Venetians better than the native Lemurians. So that's why we went to this Venetian colony, and it was beautiful. It was a wonderful place to be. The Venetian spirituality was so wonderful that I changed from being a Maldak general in the military to becoming a priest in this Venetian colony on Mu. They weren't priests in that spiritual philosophy, were married and had children and things like this, but it was just a calling to study. And so that was did I get way off track?
No,
I'm trying to think.
No, we're talking about the Venusians in Lemuria, and then where they went afterwards.
Well, see, the native Lemurians were kind of like the native Hawaiians today, because Hawaii, the islands of Hawaii, are actually the tips of the tallest mountains on the continent of Lemuria. And the spiritual seers on Lemuria knew that there was going to be a catastrophe, and they again got permission to take their sacred items, and they wanted to evacuate people to the inside Mount Shasta. There was a cavernous place big enough to build a place for people to evacuate to, because you know, many planets have people that, and even Earth has people that live interdimensionally under, and you know, physically and interdimensionally within Earth, the crust of Earth. There's the many kinds of good and bad people that live within the Earth. And so anyway, they got permission. They started building out it's the interdimensional high frequency city, and they named it Telos in Mount Shasta. They didn't get, they were only able to evacuate 25,000 people off of Lemuria before it sank. And since then, it's grown to about 1.5 million, the last time I heard. And the spiritual leader there is High Priest of Dhamma that I've worked with.
That's just awesome. Totally awesome.
I mean, I had a normal life here on Earth before getting all of my galactic lineage and all these past lives revealed to me, and now I know why they call me a galactic grandmother.
Right. And it certainly does change your life completely once you have an experience like that. And then, of course, they reveal to you what your purpose is here on Earth, which is mainly to raise consciousness, right?
Right. I have a soul contract for this last chapter in my life, and it is to help people. It's for soul reconnection. We want people to really cast off this programming that all they are 3D beings. No, we have a multidimensional, beautiful, infinite nature that if we can tap into, if we can raise our consciousness, and it's not a woo-woo thing to be able to raise your consciousness. You don't need a guru, you don't need, anything like that. There's ways, techniques to do it, and then you can be in connection with your own star families and your own higher aspects of yourself.
And do you work with people to show them how to do this?
Definitely. It's it's a matter of clearing out all the programming that we have come in on this incarnation, and we now think we're this particular person according to our cultures and where we live and our families and so forth. And what we really are is in our heart. And so it's a matter of healing. It's like even the 12-step programs, when people are so they're having dysfunctions in their life, and so the first thing they have to do is go within and find out, why are you self-destructing? And for us, we've got to go within and find out what our unconscious motivations are, what are bad attitudes, clear out those physical, emotional traumas, and as we clear out these lower frequency energies, then we're able to embody our own higher consciousness, and that's what puts us in contact with the higher frequency beings.
You mentioned earlier about people having different aspects of themselves at different frequency levels. There's something that happens to me, and I know this happens to other people. Every once in a while, if I'm dreaming or even just meditating, sometimes not even that, I will suddenly feel like I've been transported to another place. It feels like a different planet. They have small trains on small tracks that are all open at the top, and I get in this train that goes up a mountain, and we're mining. I'm a man in that part of me, that aspect of me. And then we come back down the mountain on the train, and I go home, and there's this house that is mostly underground, and then the top part is above ground with a thatched roof. It's very, very simple. It almost looks like, early 1800s Western United States, but it's definitely not. It definitely is a different planet, and I have a wife and children, and I can see all the details about that. How many people do you talk to that have experiences like that, and they want to know what that is, and then you explain to them it's a part of themselves?
Wow, a lot of people, especially now. I believe you've heard the saying, the veil is thinner now. And I think that especially with dream time, or just daydreaming in a state of relaxation, you can slip into, you can see your parallel lives, you can experience past lives, and even sometimes future lives. We daydreaming is so much more than just a simple fantasy very often. And it's important for, there's something about that. Have you had it more than once?
Oh, many times, multiple times.
And so for you, you've got to think about, well, how does that make me feel? How does it make you feel?
Well, it actually makes me feel relaxed and de-stressed because it's a very simple life.
Uh-huh.
It's not like
Wonderful.
the chaos that we're living in right now with all the electronics and cell phone and and everyone doing too much, and I certainly am doing that. But that is, it's a welcome rest. Let's put it that way.
And I think that's probably why in your dream time you're escaping to that particular parallel life, is for that feeling of letting down and relaxing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that I would definitely say that it's it's a good thing for you. That's really great that you're able to tap into that. And there's probably
Yeah.
other things you can tap into in just daydreaming too, that make that you could feel an escape.
Well, yeah. Well, I kind of do that all the time anyway, especially when I'm remote viewing for other people. I'm
Yeah.
looking at things that are happening to them or around them, and
Uh-huh.
you know, say we didn't mean to turn this into a psychological.
Oh, I know. I know. I can't help it. I can't
No,
help
oh, I
it.
know, I know, yeah. Um,
Uh,
but
I
but you're saying that you're noticing people are waking up, and
mhm.
it seems to be on a fast track right now. Is that what you're seeing?
Definitely. The snowball is rolling down the hill. And I, geez, I was trying to trace it back. It's probably been over a year that I keep getting, you got to get ready. You got to get ready. And then
Mm-hmm.
in the last few months, I have like a ladies' call on Thursday evening for women over 50. And they were saying they just feel like there's something coming and they don't know what it is. They can't put their finger on it. It doesn't seem to be anything in their life that they can identify, but there's something coming. And we all feel like we got to get ready. But when I saw you, was it with Raymond Kellerman? And you said that you and your psychic friends have gotten the message that the big reveal has been moved up to July. I hate to make predictions with dates like this, but
I never
I
do.
got, I know, I kind of got that confirmed too. I
Yeah.
asked myself today, uh, and it's been moved up because we're just at a stage where people not only want some relief from what's going on, but
Hmm.
it'll be a complete collapse of a lot of things in our culture, which will be a good thing, but it'll be shocking for people too.
Hmm. Yeah, that's I'm feeling that. Well, we're gonna take a break in a minute, and then we're gonna discuss the big reveal and what exactly that means, because there's some big stuff coming. Uh, and I think it'd be best to go ahead. We'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back right after these messages. Have you ever wondered what messages star seeds are receiving from their star families? The Unexplained Network and Oz Institute are pleased to announce the Conscious Contact Virtual Conference, June 20th, 2026. Join us to hear messages from the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Venusians, and more with Lily Nova, Isha Patel, Dr. Raymond Keller, April Cordner, and Margie Kay. These experienced contactees will share what they have learned from the benevolent beings who are assisting Earth people to raise their consciousness. Visit unxnetwork.com for more information and to register. That's unxnetwork.com. Unex Media is pleased to offer 2 books by Dr. Gregory Rogers, former NASA flight surgeon. Impact is an account of the Space Shuttle program in 1992 and the tragedy that occurred even after NASA management had been warned about the damage to the thermal protection system. And in We Got It From Them, Dr. Rogers explains how humanity received ET technology. Both books are receiving much attention by the media. Visit unxmedia.com, that's unxmedia.com for more information, or go to amazon.com to purchase your copies today. And we are back with Unex News. The Margie Kay Show. Just changed it to that, so I've got to get used to saying that the right way. Oh my goodness. And we do have the Consciousness and Contact coming up. And April, you are a speaker for that. Can you give us just a little teaser about what you're going to talk about for that?
Oh, you were talking about how do we raise our consciousness. I'm definitely going to include some of that
Okay.
because I want people to know it's just not, we can do it. It's just a matter of setting your intention to raise your consciousness, and your star families are ready. They've been showing themselves forever that they're living with us. It's just that their ships are phased out where we can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're there. They're just waiting for us to raise our consciousness and meet them a little bit. It makes it kind of difficult for them to come into this denser energy here.
Well, that's the thing. So let's talk about the big reveal. What is it? When is it going to happen? What does it mean? What is it going to look like?
Oh,
it's a very simple question.
During the break, I was just checking in, and I'm getting yes. We're definitely going to have some kind of a reveal that's going to shake up people when they realize that extraterrestrials are real. I mean, I don't know how they couldn't at this point, but a lot of people don't want to think about it or even accept that. And what is it? I would say it's going to have to be probably, not only is the government, President Trump keeps promising he's going to make a statement about extraterrestrials, but I think it's going to take more than that. I'm hearing the word global. It's going to have to be a global show, probably of ships that just phase in enough where we can see them and there's no denying it. They've been doing it anyway. They've been making some shows all over the place. I've seen some of the videos coming in from different countries. And so
they certainly have. The MUFON reports are up, and the people are seeing closer objects rather than just lights in the sky. I mean, they do make a show with lights in the sky, but if it's too far away to see exactly what it is, it just doesn't mean much. But that's changing. That has changed. They're having closer contact, actual ET contact, seeing extraterrestrials. Some people who have never seen anything before in their lives are experiencing these things, and that's different because before the last 2 or 3 years, I would say, people who saw UFOs would have started seeing them at a very young age. But now we have older people who are experiencing things for the first time. Are you also seeing that with the people that you work with?
Yes, and while you were speaking, I was just getting the message that the star families, extraterrestrials, have been contacting more and more people now. They're really making an effort to contact adults that perhaps never even thought about that before. You know, like Lily Nova's story. I loved her book. She talks about just would she was fascinated by photographing the night sky, and it ended up with her being directly contacted by her star family. And she wasn't expecting that, but a lot of people are being contacted sometimes in dream time. And sometimes they just get a very, very strong feeling of a loving presence close to them. Now, one of the ladies in my Zoom call, she was driving for an appointment somewhere, and suddenly she saw a huge ship. She was the only one on this kind of a country road, 2-lane road, and there was a ship hovering above the tree line. She pulled over, and she was just so shocked. She was looking at it, and it was a blue, kind of a blue lit up ship. And she was late for an appointment. She goes, I should have never have been thinking about my appointment. I should have got my camera and started taking some pictures, but she pulled over just so she could look at it and blink her eyes and make sure she wasn't hallucinating, and it was real. And then she took off driving for her appointment, and it went away. Now my mother was a big believer in extraterrestrials, and she had an encounter with one that I don't know if people are familiar with sand buggies driving. They do night runs on the big sand dunes here in Southern California. And my parents were out on a night run, and the only thing out there that you can see on the sand are the headlights of the dune buggies. Everything else is like our background with the night sky and the stars. And they saw a bank of lights coming towards them, not high over the dunes. And it got closer and closer, and it stopped. And she could see, and it was like a circular disc-shaped spaceship, and there was a bank of lights, and she could see the outline of 3 humanoids in the lights. The light was behind them, so she just saw their shadows. And she jumped up, and she started waving both arms at him, and my dad, he pulled her back down in the seat, and she jumped up again. She jumped up again. She said he kept pulling her down. He goes, Barbara, don't, you know. I think he was a little afraid. He was a engineer with, you know, that kind of one-track mind. But she jumped up the 3rd time and waved, and she said that one of them went like this to her. And then, and mind you, the ship, it wasn't disturbing the sand. There was no sound. And after it went like this, it just took off. And she always loved to tell that story.
Quite an experience.
Yeah.
Was that her only such experience?
I believe that's the only one she used to tell us about and tell everybody about. She just said, how can we look out at all of the stars in the sky and not think that there's life on other planets? But she was psychic, and she knew about past lives and future lives, and and she was open to
Mm.
extraterrestrial life. Yeah,
So it looks like your abilities came from your mother's side
definitely.
before the big download. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of your abilities. Would you say that it's a combination of DNA and being a natural psychic and then getting a little boost or a big boost from our higher selves, our spirit guides, our galactic families?
Definitely, definitely. The indigenous DNA really grounds me to Mother Earth, and the psychic ability ran through that indigenous DNA through the ladies in the family. And my sisters and cousins, they had some psychic abilities, but they never uh, jumped into it and wanted to find out about it like I did. This, of course, this was my training me. I was in training for this mission and my this soul contract here at the end of my life. But it's the galactic when everybody starts learning about who they really are, when they tap into their past lives, when which include those lives on other planets, then we realize our galactic nature. It's it's just we're
Yes.
part of the entire galactic universe here.
The would you say that the people you're working with who are also awakening, waking up to the fact that they are galactic ambassadors as well, um, would you say that all of us combined are here to help the rest of humanity deal with what's coming?
100%, because this has been the big message that just has kept coming to me for a long time now, but stronger in the last few months, is that if you're identifying as a star seed or a light worker, then it's time to step up because we're going to be needed. The
Mhm.
if if and when this our galactic brothers and sisters show themselves to us globally, where are people going to find the real answers? I don't think they're going to be getting it from religions or governments. They're going to be they're going to be hopping on the internet and looking for people that, like us, that have been into extraterrestrial and spiritual things like this. And I think
Mhm.
you can't separate spirituality from our higher consciousness extraterrestrial families. They're more the benevolent. There's just like here on Earth, there's benevolent and malevolent extraterrestrials, the
Mhm.
service to self and service to others. And the service to others, like the Palladians in particular, that I used to do quite a bit of channeling for them in 2017. They they've been here forever, overseeing uh, our evolution of consciousness here. They've been helping out humanity. They've been sending in teachers to help us along the way.
Yes, and that's a good positive thing for people to remember. Um, on a darker note, I was just guided to talk about the missing people, people who have been murdered that have had, they're top level scientists. They've been working on exotic materials, top secret programs, but also I want to add to that because there's at least 13 of those right
Mhm.
now that we know of. But in addition, the general public is not aware that there have been some attacks and also unfortunate deaths among ufologists, people who have been working in the field. And it's getting a little scary. It has us all on edge. But I'm My opinion is it's the dark side's last ditch effort to try to stop the information and the revelation that there are ETs living among us. I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, definitely. I think it's part of the dark agenda, whatever you want to label as the dark being. But I see that it started even further back, in particular during the lockdown. And the
Mhm.
doctors and scientists that were not going along with the vaccine
Uh-oh.
agenda. Uh-oh.
We're gonna have to extract that word.
Okay.
We can't say that or anything like it, or
There were certain
they'll
okay.
take us down.
There
So go ahead.
During the lockdown, there were certain doctors that were disappearing, just like the
Mm,
ufologists and the people associated with the scientific programs
mhm,
that are disappearing now. You see, every time we're getting, humanity's trying to take a step for expansion of consciousness.
mhm.
uh, the dark agenda steps in and tries to put their foot down on that. But you see, it didn't work with that time period, that timeline. And I don't think it's going to work with this either. In fact, it's probably getting the opposite effect when it's waking people up to think, oh, these scientists that are working on behalf of free energy and so forth, they're disappearing. Ufologists are disappearing. I think it's going to have the opposite effect. What do you think?
I think it's coming to the forefront finally. The mainstream media is picking it up, and not so much the ufologists, but
Hmm.
the scientists. They're picking that up. So, and you're right, it has been going on for a long, long time, but now people are starting to pay attention. Hey, what's going on here? And and the other thing is, I wanted to ask you about 2021. That year, of course, it's in the middle of COVID, towards the end of COVID. But I sensed a huge boost of energy coming from the Galactic Center. And I wonder if
Hmm.
you also experienced that.
Definitely, definitely. That's when I was uh, contacted by my guides and Yeshua on Jesus on occasion, because I do have I had a lifetime following him during his 3 years of service. I have a
Mm,
personal connection to him, but I got contacted by my guide and by Yeshua, and they said, start writing about your past lives. And
mm,
that's when I started writing about my past lives, because again, they wanted an expansion of our consciousness to go beyond 3D. And they wanted to, the message is that don't be fearful. We, of course, there's good and bad, but as long as we are working, s- saying our prayers, saying our intentions to be of light and be protected, and that we genuinely want to be in contact with our own higher consciousness, and we all have spiritual teams, and very often on our spiritual teams there are extraterrestrials that are guiding us. And again,
mhm.
I hate to even call them extraterrestrials. They're just higher consciousness beings of light that we're related to in one way or another.
I like to call them interdimensionals.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I've been told by some of them they don't like that term,
Oh, really?
extraterrestrial. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and interdimensionals is when you start raising your frequency, that's when you can also be in contact with the Agartha network, with the Telosians, with the interdimensionals that live within the earth. And that includes also on top of the earth, Sasquatch. Sasquatch is making more and more contacts with people as well. I've seen that.
They are. We could do a whole show on Sasquatch. Love Sasquatch. People, how do people now identify as star seeds? How do they know if they're a star seed?
I think it's uh, it's a drive from the inside that they know that this life is just not all there is. And when you look up at the night sky and you see all those stars, and sometimes you might see a UFO zipping around. That's the first time I saw one was in the night sky when I was 21. There was just no way. It just zipped like this, stopped, went straight down, zipped around a little more, stopped, and then it just took off at a speed that was not, nothing on earth could do that. But people just have an innate desire to learn what the secret of life is. And this is that inner galactic being that they are. It's the higher consciousness being that's saying there's more to you than what you're aware of. And I think that's how people can identify that if they jumped on the internet and Googled starseed or light worker, they could probably identify with a lot of what they're reading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Recently, it feels like there have been some high frequencies come in that are causing people to have some dizziness, maybe, vertigo,
Oh,
extreme tiredness, things like that. Are
hmm,
those symptoms of higher vibrations coming through?
definitely. In fact, yesterday at about 4 p.m. Pacific time, I got blasted by some high frequency energy. The CMEs, the solar flares of
Mhm.
plasma coming into the Earth's grid, and then coming down into our bodies. And a lot of us are more sensitive to the energy. And yesterday, not only did I suddenly just felt like I got hit by something, my computer stopped working. I couldn't
Oh,
send out a email. I mean, at first I thought, was that an energy weapon I've heard that people talk about? And I checked in and it wasn't. It was just a strong energy that came in. It must have been some kind of a solar flare, CME or something.
mhm.
And it's been and I checked on my ladies group last night if they felt it, and they felt it too. They're up in a couple of them were up in Washington State, and they felt it too. And when it comes in, it can make you suddenly just feel like you are wiped out. All you can do is just lie down. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
You can have dizziness. Um, I forget things, and I can't blame it on my age. I can't remember words. And I saw Elizabeth April, she's another remote viewer. She said, and she's like young, she's in her 30s. She said the energies have been making her forget words too. So,
Oh, I am so glad to know that that's the reason because I I'll be going along and I'm like, "Where's the word?" It's been a little bit crazy. I was afraid dementia was setting in, but okay, that's good to know. Um, I do want to ask you about, well, did you get a birthday present?
I did.
Mm,
And I have to recommend Margie K's readings. I got a 30-minute reading from Margie K. And wow, it was awesome. And one thing she did tell me was she said, because I just had a birthday on the 27th, I'm 76. Uh,
yay.
yeah, she said I was going to get a birthday surprise, but then she kind of said, I'm going to spoil it a little bit and say it's a high frequency healer coming in to give you some new form of healing. So, uh, I immediately thought, well, it's got to probably be something to do with physical, healing. But the day before my birthday, I was doing some writing and I was really in tune with my higher consciousness. And this beautiful feminine being of light came in. She identified herself as me, a 10-dimensional aspect of me.
Oh.
And she was bringing a new healing modality, and she showed me in my mind's eye that the programming for the false reality, otherwise known as Matrix, looks like spider webs interwoven. The spider webs are woven right into our energy bodies. And she was saying you can't do a blanket extraction of all of these programming, like they look like spider webs, but you look and see where the client's particular problem is, if it's in physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, and you look in, and I'll be able to extract from that particular energetic field programming. And and she was showing me, it looks like these spider webs I'm pulling out of the energy body. She said, you're going to pull it out. It looked like about 18 inches outside of the body. And then you work with the client to sever it and to dissipate it and send it back to source. But it was fascinating. I had no idea. Have you heard of that kind of feeling before?
Well, I've seen them. I've seen the spider webs. I've seen
Okay.
webs. They're not spider webs, but they're webs. I've seen them
Right.
in people and around people.
Yeah.
And and they came across as a negative energy that needed to be
Right.
removed.
Right. Well,
Interesting.
she said that those webs are actually the negative programming that's interfering in our energy bodies. And it can be causing, and they can be from this lifetime, they can be travel down through the DNA lineage, past lifetimes, all kinds of different reasons that's in there, but it needs to be cleared out. So it's a energetic, it's called multidimensional programming extraction. How's that?
Okay.
MPE.
Yeah, okay. For short.
And I
Yeah.
don't even have it. I don't even have it up on my website yet but if anyone's interested in that, just email me and we'll set it up.
Okay.
So I'm glad.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just glad to hear that you have seen those webs before.
Yeah. I've also seen it around the entire planet above us.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
That definitely needs to get dissipated
Yeah.
and removed.
Well, we just have a few minutes left, so please tell us about all of the different services you offer and how people can get in touch with you.
I think my earbuds just died. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound funny though because these are dead. All right, my email is galacticgrandmother@gmail.com, and my website is galacticgrandmother.com.
Okay.
And
And what are some of the services you offer?
I love to take people in a meditative form to the Akashic records so that they can access past lifetimes. And I've also helped people to access this current lifetime, going back to childhood and reliving some things that they needed to clear out. And I do quantum healing and revitalization, and I do house and work clearings, had some fun experiences with that. And now
Mm-hmm.
this, what else? I do tarot card readings, messages from your guides, and mentoring to help you access your own higher frequency self. And now
Yep.
the new one is going to be the programming extraction.
Well, that is just awesome. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight and sharing this information. It's so important and the work that you're doing. And I just thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, Margie.
All right. Hang with me. So don't leave the green room, okay? And I'll be right
Okay.
there. All right. Another show ended too soon. I'm going to have April come back with watch the workshop, the conference coming up in June. Watch the Unx Network for more details. And I'll see you next week.